As we struggle with the great poison, something stirs at the edges of our vision. It is the hatchling Samus. We feel her across the void as she hunts the corrupted. Will our fates again be one? As our pride shatters, will prophecy become real? When all strength wanes from the Chozo, will it be the hatchling who fulfills our legacy? True sight eludes us, for the poison gnaws at all vision, leaving seers blind and filled with despair. Truth's blessing may come too late. Welcome back to Metroid Prime. I'm your host DeoGenZ, and the last time we obtained the Wave Beam, which is wicked, well wicked, because it will allow us to go further into Phendrana Drifts. And I'm going to show you exactly where you can go with this new acquired Power Beam weapon. Again, I want to mention the masterful design of how these layers, or how these levels rather, are layered. It's so good of the designers not to force you into backtracking for the sake of backtracking. You're backtracking for a reason here. You're backtracking and finding more and more of your items that were lost in the crash. You know, the crash you had with your power suit against the frigate. So forget about just backtracking for items. And I guess you could make the argument, well, DeoGenZ, that's what we're doing. But the big difference in which items you're trying to obtain, and we can't do anything with that little port right there, not until we obtain another suit upgrade, is that it unlocks more of your game. Quick save there. No need to see it. Ah! She-Goths! Damn you! Yeah, we defeated your whole family. So fuck you, you're all alone now. All alone in this cold tundra that is Phendrana Drifts. But it's why the charge beam and the jump boots, although the charge beam really doesn't unlock anything game-wise, but it's why the jump boots are one of my favorite weapons, favorite upgrades rather, in this game. It gives you access to so many new areas, and it actually makes combat a lot easier. If you can strafe around your opponents and also jump over their shots, you'll have a far easier time at keeping that health. Oh, and look at this. Just in case you missed it on the first time round, there is some Chozo lore there. But you would know that if you were fully watching these episodes, because I put the locations of the lore, not only the lore, in the front end of these things. So now we get to go to a very scary part of the Phendrana Drifts region. We get to go investigate on what other critters are here, if you can call them that. But I won't ruin the anticipation and surprise that may not even be within this episode given the time. But I will tell you, a new enemy lurks. Ah, big room and a puzzle to solve, because we can't climb up walls, but we can do the spinner ball. Cool ass device. And very useful in opening hatches. Opening hatches, drawing bridges, whatever you need to do, usually the speed up ball will assist. But that's also where this backtracking is beautiful. Speaking of enemies, is that the enemies get stronger. You go back to an area that you've been to before, and that She-Goth, for example. That She-Goth was not there originally when we came to Phendrana Drifts. Now we have the Wave Beam, now we got a bit more upgrades to our suit, and the game says, well, you're upgraded, so we're going to upgrade our game and make it tougher for you. Which is good. You don't want a OP Samus. You think you might. You think you would. But then what's the fun in playing? The gamer's got to have some sort of strife in going through these levels. So, you know, let's make it better enemies. Let's make them interesting areas to traverse. It's like active puzzle solving collecting missions. Because in Pokemon, you could collect them all, and nothing would really happen. That's exactly why I've never collected them all, per se. But in this game, you collect all the suit upgrades, which you are supposed to do. And right here is an area for saving. So we'll do a quick save. I'll even show the animation because it's gorgeous. But in this, you need to collect all of Samus's suit items, upgrades, things we never even had before. Alright, we didn't start the wave. I hate those freaking blasters. Those ceiling turrets are a pain. So my recommendation is just, especially on the Wii version, because what the fuck is this thing? Because on the Wii version, charge shots are less effective, it seems. Die! Sneaking up on me like that. What the frig was that? Well, it's dead now, so we can't really figure that out. But if you lock on to an enemy with the Z target, or if you're on GameCube, the L and R buttons, a missile will always hit. She's got heat-seeking missiles, this Samus here. So use that to your advantage. But that's a nice funny effect of the wave beam. It will malfunction turrets and other electronics if struck with a charged shot. Oh shit. It's going down! Okay, yeah, I'll stop with the bullshit. I don't know what I'm facing here. These are space pirates, and a good way to deal with them is using your new beam weapon. Because while it will make turrets and other electronics malfunction, so they do crazy shots all over the place and self-destruct, it will also, for organic life forms, paralyze them. Of course, if you're too impatient for paralysis to charge, because that's the only way it'll happen, you need to do the charge shot. And we got a map station! Then missiles will also be effective. And the same sort of thing, you know, heat-seeking missiles, whether it's a turret or a space pirate, you lock on, and then you can be anywhere in the room just about, so long as your missile path is not obstructed immediately. Oh good, we get to look at where we're headed, but not too important. I say we just go. Go where no Samus has gone before. And this is where things get interesting in the game. You know, we thought we were alone here on this island. Well, island if you think of it in celestial terms, the island that is Talon 4, because the Chozo don't seem to be here anymore. I thought we were just chasing down Ridley, and we were finding suit upgrades in old abandoned Chozo warehouses, or temples, or statuaries, whatever they want to call them. But now we've got space pirates! If you're unfamiliar with Samus's history, just like Ridley, she does have a history with these horrendous forms as well. These are the armies that were on Zebes. Ah! That's Samus. That was an awesome jump. That Samus had to face. And we thought we defeated them. Mother Brain was supposed to be their leader. It really makes me wonder, who is commanding these things? Well, maybe some pirate data that we have at the beginning and end of each episode will tell us a little bit more. But note that I would highly recommend scanning everything in this room now. I don't want to be a spoiler, but in the next episode you're going to see why it would be so unfortunate for you to have not scanned everything in this room. And again, I really recommend it. If you're going for that 100%, do it now. Don't delay. Things are not going to go your way if you want to scan things later. Just take my word on it, and you'll see next episode. So these things are at a bit of an unfair disadvantage with Samus's weapons. You know, obviously they can't paralyze us, so they don't have the cool beams that we do. But they do have melee weapons. That's why it's dangerous to even get close to a space pirate. and why that original guy we faced in the hallway was so frustrating. Because, you know, just by pushing us up against the corner, we can't do much other than drop some power bombs. In a pinch, drop a bomb. The power bomb. Now this is a fun door to go through. Super fun when you don't know which way you're going. Oh, these turrets. These turrets will be the bane of my existence. Yeah, but this is a much better way to take care of them. Missile launcher to the face! Actually, does the turret even have a face? I don't think so. Probably not, but it was very super effective, as you could tell. They are not here anymore. Booyakasha! The good thing about using that missile tactic in that they follow their thermal imaging prey, whether it's organic or inorganic, is that you could hide around the corner once you Z-target them. These guys, not as easy with the wave beam, but they're not firing too fast to where you can't manage a charge shot in between their firing. And the good thing to use your now enabled wave beam is that it paralyzes these freaks. So while they're trying to fire at you, you can disrupt that path. Actually, I wonder if, because it seemed like the wave beam charged had sort of a curve to it there, I wonder if it also hones in on the opponent. I know that Z-targeting in the Wii version of the game is not a guaranteed hit like it was in the GameCube, but it does steady your shot. So now let's activate some morph ball puzzles. Now whenever you hear that, like, this sound that you're hearing now, I don't even know how to explain it, it's just going on in the background. Whenever you hear that kind of jingle, that means you are being timed. So don't dilly-dally, don't think that you're going to have that port open forever. As you have that beeping noise, that mechanical dun 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 dun, it is timing you. No! I always fail at that spot. You got to do a running jump at the very last second if you are to achieve this jump correctly. It's a big gap. But don't worry, your space jump boots are all set. First time I came around here, when I was playing on the GameCube, I thought, no, the game is broken. There's no way for me to jump over that. When in actuality, I just test sucked. It's true. It happens all the time. Many misconceptions I've had about games in the past just turned out to be my lack of skill level kicking in. Oh, also, same thing goes for this room too. There is a lot of things to scan after we complete this puzzle, and you're going to want to do it. You're going to want to do it now. Don't delay. You got to scan today. You got to scan like you're at a competition in a supermarket for the self-checkout to be the swiftest, most efficient scanner in the land. Oh! And that's your prize, right there. The cosmos are in your hand, but only if you can scan. That's the nice thing about this game, too. I mean, I mentioned this before, but I will say it again. They never force you into doing anything. I mean, you do have to use the scan visor, but it's used in in the actual gameplay mechanics. It's not used to have to force you to read all these logs for information. The information that you get from the logs and the lore, the pirate data and the Chozo lore, it's not going to tell you where to go. It's going to tell you background information on the game, and it's going to tell you some history that you had no clue about. And I definitely recommend it if you are a hardcore Metroid fan, or even somebody who's just looking for more story. This game could be mistaken as being bleak and boring and lonesome because it's not guiding you through. But when you get the lore, when you get the data, when you get the goods like this, it all makes sense, and it's a much more fulfilling experience. So I will see you next time when we get to use our super missile upgrade. What is this otherworldly pestilence that infests the land, seeking out life in its blind need for corruption? And where did the meteor that brought it originate? Was it crafted by alien hands, or is it a roving chunk of a planet that suffered a violent end? Our minds quail in horror at the thought that long ago, in some corner of the universe as yet unseen by our eyes, an entire planet was perhaps once coated with this great poison. Whatever cataclysm may have ruptured that doomed place must have been mighty, indeed. And if other meteors from it spread throughout space, bearing this evil to the far corners of the universe, we hold fast to the hope that this is not so, that the only surviving remnants of this evil are here on Talon 4. Then, at least, there is hope for its eradication.